What's up, everybody? Happy Sunday. It's Pip Pop here. Taking a look at NASDAQ today. You can see clearly we have a really nice head and shoulders here. Really easy read and setup. I did a quick analysis on some areas here. We took a look at VWAP. We can see that I drew this purple line here as a possible point to where this is probably going to return and reject from. You can see that VWAP kind of lines up right there. There's that middle blue line, right where that purple line is. And you can see these resistance levels up here as well. So it's probably going to hit either just below this, right at the top of this green VWAP line right here, right at the peak of that little blue piece right here. As I zoom in, you'll be able to see it a little bit better. And the next thing that I did was just double check the rejection blocks. We can see that we have a rejection block in this area. We have one here forming, but you can see that we also have a buy rejection block. So it's probably going to be a little bit of consolidation right here. And I went ahead and grabbed we were using the fixed range volume profile, and wanted to grab this area here. All right, oops. Now let's grab, I wanted to grab this low. This is the low right here. You can see that this bouncing off of this lower volume profile right now after coming down from here, and grabbing this whole area, right, because this is that bottom support level. You can see that there's this trend line that goes through where that bigger volume low actually stands. And if we move this up to an even larger scale, going to the 15-minute here, and grabbing this whole consolidation area to really get a good idea from here to here, we'll grab the section before the first drop off, right? And so we have a volume low down here, which is the base of that support. And then we also have the point of control right here. And this is around that 618, or this is about 610, 620. And then this one's at just below 700. And you can see that there's clearly, this is a Fibonacci, the Fibonacci golden line here. We have a cross section here between these trends. So I would most likely be targeting this area right around 618, right where that little cross section is. And we have a trend line here that this would most likely be following. All right, so we can have a kind of a clear design on how to follow this trade down to this section. And since there are some bounce points here, you can see right here at 802, we have this bounce going up. We're probably going to do the same when we hit that point. We have support here, probably bounce up, retest the level before coming back down and hitting these levels. So I want to check my risk to reward, and I can grab my short position here, kind of mark out this area, having my stop loss just behind that top there, that top section there. And just like that, bringing down into, boom, there's my position and my take profit. Now, while we can play it all the way down to the bottom, like I said, there's probably going to be a bounce, so I may just want to break it up into a couple of different trades. We have about a 1 to 4 risk here. Now, I won't necessarily just jump in right at the purple line, because like I said, there is that level here that's a little bit higher. So if I catch it here, we're looking at about a 1 to 6 trade just off of this first section here, or the full trade coming down to this golden area, right, the base of this support down here, and we're looking at about a 1 to 10. So depending on how the trade moves, sometimes we'll plow right through certain levels. So definitely going to trail stop loss as it moves down. I'm waiting for this position to really show what's going on here. It'll pop up most likely. Give it an opportunity to maybe even tag this trend line, which is again right where that VWAP line is on the session. Boom, boom, boom. And probably tag this area right here, giving us a follow through on this motion. So we can kind of draw that out, right? It might do something like this and then come back down. Maybe hump a little bit one more time before coming down into this section, right where this next support level is. So we can set up our position here, right? Basically right at where that purple line is. And let's move this up just below that resistance level there, right where it tags our trend line, and then moving this down into where we predict it going, and we'll keep it down there. And as we trail, if it comes back up, stops us out, we've collected profits. But if it does decide to plow through, you can see that it is kind of starting to make that motion downwards. But as it does start to kind of plow through, we can, as we trail this stop, it'll come back up, tag our profits, and if we need to or feel like we need to, we can always grab another position. But check back in as I see this trade kind of mature a little bit. Just because it's dropping right now doesn't mean it's something that I immediately want to jump into. There's another point right here. It could bounce right off of the top of this wick right here, and giving us that follow through that or that positioning that we were looking for. So I'll check back in once the market's matured. All right, guys, we're back. So our position never came up. We weren't able to get that position here at 894. But you can see the price did drop to that level, is bouncing off of this first support level here. Unfortunately, we missed the trade. However, the read was good, and we will find other areas to take more trades. But wanted to at least share that with you guys on how I did that pre-analysis, that setup, and what it was that I was looking for. I would assume that either off of this point or this lower section here, we'll probably start coming back up to retest this trend line. But hope you guys enjoyed that and saw that it did start coming down to these levels. Hey guys, it's Pip, and this is another day of trading, and I found it very funny because yesterday on gold we had this almost exact same setup, and today I basically ran the same play. It came back up from here, hit that previous target, and now is returning downwards into this area. Now I have this purple line here, kind of the same thing, and we ran that, boom, that's that value area low right there. So I'm basically just running it all the way to that value area low, just a little bit above it, just to make sure that I am securing those profits. I just did a one contract trade. So I'm actually grateful for this because I was just making that video, and then the very next day, right when market opened for Tokyo session, here we are again, almost the identical exact same trade. Found that entry this time right off that previous support, or for previous resistance, and just riding this thing down all the way to previous support, just a little above, like I said, just to secure profits. So I'll let this one play out. You guys can watch it, and I'll fast forward through the video.
Well,